I wanted to come on here and give you guys some tips that you can use before you actually put in your box braids if it is a style that you're choosing to do for your protective style for the fall and winter. So ultimately, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you are starting on a fresh, clean scalp. You want to make sure that whatever products or buildup that you've used in the last week, that you have completely rid your scalp of it. You can use apple cider vinegar to clarify your scalp and also to bring the pH balance back to a great level where you know you're going to be diving into this protective style and your hair is going to be fully protected. Next, you want to give your hair a good deep treatment. So pay attention to what it is you think that your hair needs, whether it needs a strengthening treatment, so you might want to do a protein treatment or a hot oil treatment if it's really, really dry, or a deep conditioning treatment to bring the moisture back into your hair. So just pay attention to how your hair feels and then implement the steps that are necessary for your hair. If your hair feels dry, go ahead and maybe do a hot oil treatment, and you can also follow that with a deep moisturizing treatment as well. You want to heat up the oil, not too hot that it burns you, but you want to make sure that it does saturate and it does provide your hair with exactly the types of nutrients that it needs, and then the deep conditioning to again bring the moisture back into the strands of your hair. Thirdly, before you do anything, I would suggest that you also, if you can, give yourself a really good trim if you have dead ends. So if you have fairy knots, and fairy knots are the very tiny knots that you will sometimes feel at the ends of the hair. If you are natural, and a lot of naturals, depending on your hair type, I find I am in somewhere in the 4 ranges, and I find that my hair tends to have a lot of fairy knots. You want to make sure that your hair is always detangled, and if you can stretch it, even better, and not stretch it with heat, just stretch it using baby bands, or you can stretch it just by twisting and braiding it. So you want to make sure those 2 things are done. You want to try and remove any fairy knots, and you want to trim your ends to make sure that because they are going to be inside of this synthetic hair. So you want to make sure that your hair is healthy enough so that it is in the best condition once you put it in this protective styling, because the whole idea is to protect what you already have. Generally, rule of thumb is if you are, taking care of your hair, your scalp is going to be maintained and clean anyway. So why not continue it as you are protecting your hair through the fall and the winter months? If you have a style such as this, the best thing to do, if your hair, you don't want to cut your hair, so you might want to start from the ends and unravel your hair up. When you have an idea of where your hair is, then you can go ahead and cut it. If you do not, I would suggest that you just cut the ends and then you unravel the hair. It will take a lot more time, but you will also protect your hair from damaging it by maybe cutting it and not realizing that you've cut off some of your hair, which is not fun at all. For some people, there are different methods that will work for your hair care needs. Implement those practices into your hair care regimen, and if it works for you or if it doesn't work for you, that is something that you will have to pay attention to. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please leave it below, or you can send me a message. If you have any questions you want to ask me, leave it below and or send me a message, and I will be sure to answer. And thank you guys so much again, and I will see you in my next hair video on Thursday. Alright guys, peace and love like always. Bye.